guess we're ready to go. I got the Lightning Bolt t-shirt. I got the crazy bed hair. Got a little bit of weed in my system, so I think we're about ready to do something I don't think anyone on YouTube has done before, and that is rank the Lightning Bolt studio albums from least awesome to most awesome. You can see Oblivion Hunter behind me. I'm not going to be including that because the band technically considers it an EP, not a full-length album. You could make a case for it being a full-length album, but they don't count it. I'm not counting it. If I had to count it, it would probably be at the bottom anyway. I'm also not going to be counting the Tour 7-inch EP. As awesome as this piece of Lightning Bolt history is, it's just the EP. So first, at the bottom two were kind of neck and neck for me. Thought about flip-flopping them, but I'm going to start off with the debut, self-titled debut from 1999. It's definitely the most difficult listen in their catalog. I would say the first time I heard it, I didn't like it very much, but grown to like it quite a bit. Some of the songs on here are pretty fun, especially Fleeing the Valley of Whirling Knives. That is definitely a telltale sign of later things to come. I still find some of the songs on here pretty much unlistenable, like Zone or Caught Deep in the Zone, but some of the tracks are pretty cool for sure. Next I'm going with their most recent studio album, which is Sonic Citadel from 2019, I believe. Pretty good album, not a lot of super memorable songs, I would say, compared to some of the middle of the cycle catalog, but it's, got some really good ones like Blow to the Head, which, I recently got to see Lightning Bolt live for the first time, and Blow to the Head definitely sounds cooler live than it does. Something about Brian Gibson's bass sound, I would say, is cooler live than it is on this. But it's, front to back, maybe not quite as unique or evocative or crazy sounding as some of their older stuff. And next, I'm going to go with what's probably my brother's favorite, and that's Ride the Skies. This was the one that introduced me to Lightning Bolt. It was their second album. First time I heard the song Force Field, I was like, what the fuck? Very, very crazy stuff on this record. Kind of hard to listen to sometimes, but you got a lot of classics like St. Jacques and 13 Monsters, Ride the Sky, Into the Mist 2, We Once Prayed is crazy. So a lot of great songs on here for sure. And now we're getting into what I think is the real meat of the catalog. So next up is Earthly Delights. This one's also grown on me quite a bit. At first I thought it was, pretty good, but the more I listen to it, the more I love it. Sound Guardians, the Almighty Colossus, Funny Farm, and then the last two songs, SOS and Transmissionary, are just a trip. Definitely a great album. Sounds a little bit more stripped back, I would say, than some of the albums that came before this, which is kind of interesting, but still really cool, and probably my favorite cover art of any of their albums. I mean, they're all sick, but alright, I had to refresh my background and whatever this stupid webcam app is. Next up is the top three. I could have put any one of these at number one, honestly. changes depending on what mood I'm in, depending on what day of the week it is. But for number 3, I'm going to go with Wonderful Rainbow. Could have been number 1, like I said. I mean, it has arguably my favorite Lightning Bolt songs. Ride the Skies was the first album of theirs I ever heard, but this was the one that made me realize this is a force to be reckoned with, so to speak. Opening off with Hello Morning and Assassins, which is like the craziest 1-2 punch you can pretty much do as a band to open an album. And then Dracula Mountain, fan favorite. Two Towers, which is like my favorite Lightning Bolt song. The whole first side of this is just great. And then you got some crazy songs too on the other side, like Duel in the Deep. Just excellent album. Number 2, I'm going with Fantasy Empire. One of their more recent albums. I think it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Very, very good record. Sounds great. Definitely the most polished sounding Lightning Bolt album they ever made, I would say. Probably the most refined sounding in their catalog. But you have, The Metal East, Over the River and Through the Woods, Horsepower, Mythmaster, Dream Genie is a very underrated song in my opinion. Like I said, the most refined sounding, so it's a little bit less of the crazy, long psychedelic trip stuff. I mean, they do have that one song at the end, Snow White, which kind of has that feel, but a little bit more stripped down, and it makes them sound closer together than ever, in a sense. And then number 1 leaves only one left here, and that's Hypermagic Mountain. Probably the closest to a perfect album that they ever made. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's got, Tomorrowland, Captain Caveman, Riff Wraiths, which is another one of my favorites, Mega Ghost, always epic, Dead Cowboy, Mohawk Windmill is crazy, Bizarro Bike has just a crazy drum intro, and more amazing album artwork. So there it is. The studio albums from Lightning Bolt ranked. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you agree? Do you think that's a terrible list? Hey, all music may have ranked it a little differently, but that's my thoughts.